Though I envisioned this from the start, I'll give credit and kudos to Jestar for suggesting it at the beginning for a ship battle merge. Last time on Total Drama Luxury Tour, we returned to Paris. This time around we had ourselves our own little Tour de France, as well as enjoyed the local delicacies that Paris had to offer. Alejandro told Tyler to throw the game for his and Lindsay's sake, and ended up sending Izzy home. With merge on its way, who will be the last to go in our 3 teams? Find out here on Total Drama Luxury Tour. Cut to the screaming admirals. Damn it, Duncan shouted angrily while breaking the dartboard won by them in Spain. It'll be okay, Duncan. Gwen tried to comfort. Freaking Chris has to freaking screw us after every freaking challenge we win. Well, merger is coming up real soon. We may not have to worry about that anymore, DJ informed the delinquent. It better, and we better be able to bail from this lousy ship of ours, Duncan angrily muttered back. Cut to the killer captains. Heather drags Cody to the engine room so no one would listen in on their conversation. Cody, since merger is coming up soon, I expect you to cut off all ties with the rest of the team, the Queen Bee demanded of him. That's a bit much to ask, Heather. Sierra and I are best friends, and Bridget is a really good friend too, the geek responded, and someone needs to help Courtney through her turmoil. Cody, I saved you from elimination in Newfoundland, and I saved you from going splat in the Caribbean. You owe me for both, remember? In Disney World, I told you, I expect you to listen to exactly everything I say, do exactly what I say, and vote for who I say. Now is the time for you to redeem that service. Heather, I just can't turn against them. The geek argued, you have to vote them off sooner or later. We can focus on Alejandro and Duncan's elimination for now, but I demand your loyalties to me overall. The Queen Bee then walks off. Cut to the rabid skippers. Alejandro ponders his next scheme with Tyler and Lindsay relaxing near him. So what now, Alejandro? Tyler asked. We just sit tight and wait for merge to come, Alejandro told the remaining skippers. Whatever you say, Alfonso, Lindsay happily said. Alejandro sighed. Okay, Lindsay calling me the wrong name is really starting to get on my nerves, but I must calm myself. A strong 3-man alliance is needed, and she is Tyler's girlfriend. Cut to the killer captains. Bridget looks at the team G-pieces while the engine maneuvered the ship for her above the vast body of water it was sailing on. Why is the GPS telling us that the next destination is in the middle of the sea? The surfer girl asked herself. The ships surround the area that their G-piece is instructed them to sail to above the Mediterranean Sea. Where's Chris? Tyler asked to the captain ship. Not sure, Bridget responded to the jock aboard the skipper ship. Suddenly a submarine surfaced from the European waters. Chris then emerged from its top. Welcome shipmates to the Mediterranean Sea, the host introduced. What kind of challenge are we supposed to do aboard our ships? Duncan annoyingly inquired. For the first part of today's challenge, we will be scuba diving into the depths of the Mediterranean, Chris said as Chef drives the submarine towards the Admiral ship. He goes on to say, there are sunken ships at the bottom of the sea, and it's up to each of you to swim down there and retrieve something that's among the wreckage. Is it treasure? Cody asked aboard the captain ship. That's the kicker, Chris said with a grin. I ain't telling. You're just gonna have to swim down there and figure it out yourself. I will also be providing a radar system and waterproof walkie-talkies for all of you to use to communicate above and below the waters. The admirals are given scuba equipment from the submarine, and then said sub drove to the captain ship, and then to the skipper ship to do the same. When will the teams merge? Alejandro asked the sadistic host. Just worry about the current situation, please, Chris responded. After watching all the episodes preceding my Alaskan elimination, it really doesn't matter if the merger is now with greater numbers or later with less. Alejandro shrugged. Really hope it's soon. I am sick of my crappy ship and all the crappy rewards Chris has been giving us, Duncan complained. Once teams merge, our team can bring Cody into a 4-man alliance and take out Courtney, Heather and Alejandro, Gwen mistakenly hoped. Cut to the killer captains. Okay team, Cody rallies the killer captains. Bridget, Heather and Courtney are our best swimmers, so they will be our scuba divers. Since I know my way around electronics, Sierra and I will communicate with you all on the radar and walkie-talkies. Sierra couldn't stop smiling. Cody and me, on a boat, together, alone. Cody, remember what I said? Heather reminded the geek while she puts on the scuba gear. She, Courtney, and Bridget hop into the sea. What did she say to you? Sierra asked the geek. Nothing. Let's set up the radar and walkie-talkie so we can communicate with them. Aye, Captain Cody. The stocker giddily complied. Cut to the screaming admirals. I can't swim so good, guys. I'll use the radar instead. DJ tells his team. Fair enough. Come on, Gwen, Duncan said, ushering his gothic girlfriend to dive with him into the Mediterranean Sea. Cut to the rabid skippers. Lindsay, you man the communication radar for us up here. Tyler and I will swim to the bottom. Alejandro instructed. Hey, Alberto, the dumb blonde complies. Gah, Alejandro screamed in frustration. The Latin master of manipulation and the jock dive into the sea. Cut to the killer captains. The team swam into the underwater depths of the sea. Bridget went at a much faster rate than the rest due to her mastery at water-related challenges. The scuba girl turns on her underwater flashlight to help navigate through the deep waters. Detect anything, Cody? The surfer girl asked the geek through the underwater walkie-talkie. Swim a few yards to your right and down some more. I am picking up the ships down there, the geek responded. As the geek puts down his walkie-talkie, Sierra walks up to him. So Codykins, once teams merge, it will be just you and me, huh? The Fangirl blissfully asked. I think we can still have a good acquaintanceship with the others, the geek responded. But Cody, I don't trust them. Heather tried to destroy our friendship back in Brazil. Bridget is acting too suspicious, and Courtney is Courtney, just like last season. Let it be just you and me, Sierra begged. Let's worry about that when merge actually happens. Okay, Sierra, the geek suggested. Cody grabbed his arm nervously. I'm really uneasy about merge. I don't want to have to pick sides. Cut to the rabid skippers. Lindsay, do you see anything on the radar? Alejandro asked with his team's walkie-talkie. I see a big giant beepy thing by you, Alfred, Lindsay pointed out. It's Alejandro, the Latin archenemy angrily reminded on the communicator. Wait, you see the ships? Whatever it is, it's coming right towards you and Tyler. The pair turns to see the large entity approaching them. Shock, they both scream as they swam for dear life from the large angry predator. Don't swim in our direction, Duncan angrily said as the two skippers flee in the two admirals' direction. Cut to the killer captains. Bridget finally reached the sunken ships. They certainly don't look like pirate ships. What are they, Chris? Bridget asked on the other line of the walkie-talkie. They are Austrian dreadnoughts sunken in World War I. Let that be your clue, Chris responded from his submarine. What did he say? Cody asked from his line. They are World War I dreadnoughts, Bridget informed. If it's not treasure we're searching for, then it could only be. Cut to the screaming admirals, Duncan and Gwen. Eluding the shark, continue their search for the sunken ships. See anything, Duncan? The goth asked. Nothing yet, Pasty, the delinquent responded. They gotta be somewhere. DJ, you get anything on radar? Duncan asked with his communicator. 10 o'clock and downward from where you're facing, DJ instructed, as the two swam in said direction. Alejandro and Tyler secretly follow them after escaping the shark. Cut to the killer captains. Heather and Courtney catch up to Bridget, who was already rummaging through the sunken ship. Did you figure out what we're retrieving? The Queen Bee asked the surfer girl. Yeah, it's armaments. Weapons, Bridget informed. We're supposed to carry gun turrets up to surface. The CIT angrily asked. These things are too heavy to carry up individually. We'll just have to carry each one up as a group, Bridget told the team. Cut to the screaming admirals. Gwen and Duncan swam to where the killer captains were scavenging the dreadnought ships. Back off, we were here first. The CIT snapped at the two. I don't recall Chris mentioning that rule. Gwen sneered back. Whatever, hope you two drown, Courtney angrily said as she, Bridget, and Heather carry up one of the gun turrets. Gwen and Duncan do the same and carry another gun turret up to the surface. Cut to the rabid skippers. Hurry, Tyler, the other teams are ahead of us, Alejandro commanded as he and the jock carry up a third turret. Cut to the killer captains. The captains were the first to bring a turret up to surface. Sierra, help them get the turret up here on the ship, Cody instructed. Aye, Sierra obliged and ran to the other girls' aid. Eventually they brought the ship gun aboard their cruise vessel. Good work, captains, Bridget praised. Cut to the screaming admirals. Help us out, DJ Duncan ordered the Jamaican giant as he and Gwen brought up their first turret. The combined strength of DJ and Duncan was able to lift the heavy gun cannon aboard their ship. Cut to the rabid skippers. Give us a hand, Lindsay, Alejandro told the dumb blonde as he and Tyler also reached surface with their turret. Right away, Albert, Lindsay said. Tyler, please tell your girlfriend that my name is Alejandro. the Latin arch-enemy angrily ordered. Sorry bro, just give her time, she'll remember eventually, the athlete tried to assure him. I need the alliance, Alejandro repeated to himself. After loading up their first turrets, the skippers and admirals jump back into the sea. Just as the captains do the same, Cody stops them. Girls, wait, I got a plan, but we have to be completely subtle, the geek informed his team. He then silently whispers the details to them. Courtney looked off to the side. I got to admit, that plan is pretty good. Cut to the rabid skippers. The athlete and the Latin mastermind were the first to return to the sunken ships. Tyler and Alejandro make quick work with rummaging up their second cannon and then proceed to swim back up. Duncan and Gwen then reached back to the ship wreckage as well and grabbed their second cannon too. As Duncan and Gwen begin carrying up their second turret, they see Bridget and Heather swimming down to them. What's the matter? Getting tired? Duncan taunted the two. Just you wait, Heather sharply responded as she and Bridget grinned at each other. Later, Tyler and Alejandro carry up their second turret to surface, followed soon after by Duncan and Gwen. Both pairs see Sierra and Courtney casually floating above the water. What are you two doing? Gwen inquired suspiciously. We are fishing for the rare European fish called. None your damn business, the CIT mockingly responded. Why hasn't her team voted her off yet? Gwen complained. Courtney chuckled. Come merge, that team could be a problem. Maybe I can boss Cody into getting rid of them with me, or at least force him to ensure that I win invincibility each challenge. Minutes later, the rabid skippers and screaming admirals finish loading up their second turret and jump back into the water. As the four swim back into the depths, they notice pieces of junk float back to the surface. What's up with all that? Tyler asked. No clue, Duncan responded. They continue to swim down to the bottom. After more time passed, the four reached the ship wreckage once more. Alejandro was the first to notice that Heather and Bridget were still rummaging around the sunken dreadnoughts. He then noticed that the floating scraps they saw earlier were all still coming from where the girls were. What are you two doing with those turrets? Alejandro asked inquisitively. Dismantling them, Heather answered smugly. Cut to the killer captains. Back at the surface, Sierra and Courtney were collecting all the light floating turret parts to reassemble onto the ship. The Fangirl and the CIT handed the parts to Cody, who with his talents of ingenuity, was able to rebuild the gun turrets with ease. This game is so ours, Sierra cheered. Eventually, the other teams bring up their third cannons to surface as well as Heather and Bridget, who brought up one last complete turret for their team, giving a grand total of 5 turrets for the killer captains. That finishes up the first part of today's challenge, Chris announced. What? But Duncan and my teams only got 3 turrets each, Alejandro said angrily. That isn't as bad as you may think. Though the captains have much more firepower, in actuality, they have no fire and no power until they dry off the cannons and apply fresh ammo to the old guns. They in fact have more guns to fix up for the next challenge, Chris informs. Now teams, back to your ships. As the teams complied, Chris continues on his megaphone. All right teams, as this will be the last challenge before merge, I would like to inform all of you that we no longer require 3 ships for the remainder of the game. So for the latter part of today's challenge, you are to dispose of the other 2 ships. First team to have their ship sink faces elimination on last time as a team. Now I would hurry up and get your guns up and running again. Chef provided the ammunition for each team, so best of luck and try not to die. It's okay, be a little considerate of me not liking paperwork. Chris then turns to the camera. Who will make it to merge? Who won't make it to merge? Find out here on Total Drama Luxury Tour. And we're back. We join our shipmates after they dove into the Mediterranean depths to salvage up some dreadnought ship weapons. After managing to bring up some turrets aboard their own ships, our contestants now have to sink each other's ship as the final challenge before the big merge. Who will walk the plank on someone else's ship first? Find out here on Total Drama Luxury Tour. Cut to the killer captains. So when do we start firing at each other? Heather inquired her host. As soon as your guns are ready, proceed to sink. Now, Chris answered as the team immediately scrambles to prepare for battle. Hurry team, let's prepare these turrets quickly. Cody rallied his teammates as they tried to get their weapons up and running. The team quickly obeys and proceeds to dry off the wet armaments. As Cody dried up his turret, Courtney approaches him. Okay Pipsqueak, now that teams are merging, I expect you to continue your atonement to me and help me vote off Heather, Duncan and Gwen. The CIT ordered. Courtney, Heather wanted the same thing from me. And I definitely won't vote off Gwen, the geek responded defiantly. I thought you had remorse for what you did to me, Courtney reminded. I do, but then be a good little boy and do what you are told, the smug CIT said, stomping off. Cut to the screaming admirals. Come on guys, we've got to hurry and get these cannons set up, DJ informed them. Duncan, why aren't you more avid for this, buddy? Oh yeah, no problem DJ, Duncan half-threatedly complied. After learning that only one of our ships will be used from now on. The captain's ship is looking real appealing, Duncan admitted, while smirking. The three prepare their long vacant turrets for naval warfare. Cut to the rabid skippers. The three skippers have been preparing their turrets as well. Alejandro was the first to fully ready his turret and proceeds to push it in the direction of the enemy ships. Fire in the hole, the Latin arch enemy shouts as he fires the turret at the killer captain ship. Cut to the killer captains. The ship narrowly avoids the oncoming projectile as it crashed into the waters, creating a massive splash. Hurry up, the skippers already have a working gun. Heather barked. Ready, Cody announced after fully preparing his cannon. Give me that, Courtney sneered as she pulls the turret away from him. Okay then, he complied with a smile. I'll direct the ship so we get his less. The Terp takes direction better than Duncan. That's for sure, Courtney admitted. Courtney wastes no time directing the first team turret towards the admiral ship. The CIT then fires at her ex and former friend. Cut to the screaming admirals. Being shot at. Story of my life, Duncan responded after narrowly avoiding Courtney's blast. Don't worry, Duncan. Our first cannon is ready now, DJ said. How's yours going, Gwen? Almost there, the goth responds. Suddenly the ship rumbles upon impact from the second shot blasted at them by Courtney. Duncan nervously looks back at the CIT from across the sea to see her cruel smile while she prepares for a third. Not sure how to get around that psychopath this time around, Duncan nervously admitted. The delinquent walks up to Gwen. Gwen, I think we may have to do something harsh. Cut to the rabid skippers. Our second turret is ready, Alejandro. Tyler informed the team captain. The athlete then wheeled it next to the other finished one and loads it. Our target. Focus on the captain ship, Alejandro ordered. The two men of the skippers fire both turrets at the killer captains. Cut to the killer captains. Watch out, Bridget hollered as the ship gets hit by one of the skipper guns. Cody, navigate better, Courtney barked at the steering geek. It was hard enough to avoid one of them. Cody defended. Cannon number 2 is ready, Sierra announced. The stalker pushed the turret towards the skipper ship. Fire, Cody commanded. Aye aye, the Fangirl fires her first shot towards the skippers and smashes into their side. Cut to the rabid skippers. Whoa bro, we got hit, Tyler nervously told the leader. Orders Captain Al Capone, Lindsay asked. Graw. The Latin mastermind growled at the dumb blonde before recollecting himself. All right, Tyler, I want you to steer the ship for us. Just keep the captain ship between us and the admirals. Got it, dude, Tyler complied. Cut to the screaming admirals. DJ continues to fire the one working turret at the killer captains. Come on, guys. Is our second turret ready yet? The Jamaican giant asked his team. Almost. Gwen nervously answered back. Okay, I'll keep them busy, DJ responded while firing another shot. Cut to the killer captains. There, another turret ready for our team, Heather proudly exclaims. She pushes hers next to Sierra and helps her fire at the skippers. Courtney continues to enjoy herself, firing at the admiral ship at the other side. Cody tries to sail the ship from being between the other two. Just remember, team, do it for the jacuzzi. I am not settling for a pool table, the Queen Bee said while firing at the skippers. Cut to the rabid skippers. Boy, does she have curves, Alejandro said while firing back. Third cannon is done, Lindsay happily announced. She pushes the armament next to Alejandro's two turrets and joins in on firing. Cut to the killer captains. The team's ship trembles upon the impact of the 3 shots. Oof, I think those hit us pretty hard, Cody said nervously. The geek turns perpendicularly to the skipper ship to avoid more damage. Turret number 4 is ready, Bridget exclaimed as she brings it next to Courtney and hers to help take out the admirals. No mercy, the CIT maniacally barraged the admirals with gunfire. Cut to the screaming admirals. The admiral ship continues to sustain more and more abuse from the captain's turrets. Come on guys, I need help, DJ pleaded to his team. He turned to see Duncan and Gwen continue to get their turrets working. Everyone finished theirs already. Guys, please hurry, stupid turrets, Gwen shouted to DJ. Almost finished though. Cut to the rabid skippers. Damn, that Terp is clever, Alejandro muttered when Cody turned the ship perpendicular to the Latins. Tyler moved the ship closer to theirs. Hey, bro, Tyler said while navigating the skipper ship. Cut to the killer captains. The skippers are approaching us, orders Captain. Bridget hollered to Cody. Don't worry about our fifth cannon, just focus on the enemy ships. The admirals haven't been doing much, so I'll just focus on eluding the skipper ship. Cut to the screaming admirals. Please guys, DJ begged once more, I need help. Finally Duncan and Gwen walk up to him. Guys, the Jamaican asked. Sorry, DJ. Gwen expressed regret to her friend. What's going on? Duncan sighed. We're throwing the challenge, dude. What? DJ could only respond with disbelief. As if on cue, Courtney blasted the ship one more time, and the admiral vessel just could not take it anymore. The ship began to submerge into the Mediterranean. Cut to the rabid skippers. Alejandro watched the admiral's ship sink and turned to his crew. New orders, team. Abandon ship. But we'd lose, Tyler protested. You mean we avoid elimination and get a tiki bar, the Latin mastermind corrected. Well, when you put it that way. Extreme. The jock jumps off the skipper ship, followed by Alejandro and Lindsay. Soon after, the captain ship turned and eventually sank the skipper ship as well. Cut to the killer captains. Winners, the killer captains, Chris announced. Well, I suppose your reward this time is a handful of skipper and admiral stowaways for the remainder of the game. That is our prize this time, Heather angrily asked. Hey, told ya, random rewards, the host answered. Everyone get settled into your new cabins inside the captain's ship, and as for the admirals, one last time as a team, to see you three at the sardine ceremony tonight. As everyone was being carried by Chef's submarine onto the captain's ship, Bridget takes the opportunity to talk to Cody. Cody, the surfer girl shyly asked. What is it, Bridge? Cody asked friendly. Even though we're merging, we are still teammates. You and I, right? Of course, Cody gave her his gap-toothed grin. Rest assured, you are far from the top of my list on who I want voted off. Thanks, Cody, Bridget said, trying to hold back her blush. Later, after the challenge, Heather decides to relax in the jacuzzi, only to find the punk and the goth enjoying it already. Pretty sweet crib you gals have here, Duncan said in a mocking tone. Oh, get out of our hot tub, the queen bee ordered. Our teams are dissolving, Heather. It's open game for us now, the punk rebutted. Heather groaned. Great, we won the challenge, and now we have all these jerks invading our ship. Meanwhile, Cody, Tyler and Lindsay are enjoying the drinks at the tiki bar. Pretty nifty here, bro, Tyler told the geek. Yep. Winning all this made this season worth it already. Cody grinned back. Suddenly DJ walks up to the group. Hey Cody, can I talk to you, buddy? Sure DJ. What's up? The geek asked skeptically. In private. Okay. The two secretly walk into the engine room so no one would listen in. What did you want to talk about? Cody finally asked. Duncan and Gwen. DJ responded. The geek frowned over such a touchy subject. What about them? It's just that they really changed, and I've noticed them do so since Beth warned me about back in Easter Island. I kinda noticed that stuff myself. Cody, they threw the challenge so they wouldn't be in a lousy ship. Now I am getting voted out for it. I'm sorry, DJ, I wish I could do something, but at least you are parting on better terms than Harold and Leshonna did. Cody tried to comfort, but was it worth it? DJ disputed. What? I've seen the two execute every elimination the admirals had. They kicked Beth for being too weak, despite Jeff being the one who cost them the Naker Mine challenge. They tossed out Eva for aggravating the wolves in the Yukon. They kicked Harold out for disputing what they did to you back in Newfoundland. They threw out Jeff instead of trying to help him cope with losing Bridget. They kicked Leshonna out for defending her boyfriend from Gwen's ridicule. Since the season began, I did not want to make any enemies, so I refused to ever vote anyone off. However, I still noticed each and every harsh act Duncan and Gwen did, but I never said anything because I was afraid of losing them as friends. I see. Cody was practically speechless for hearing all this turmoil among the screaming admirals. Cody, you are Gwen's closest friend. She will listen to your advice. Don't make my mistake. You have to tell her that Duncan is corrupting her before it's too late. But I am afraid of losing her as a friend too, Cody argued. I know you don't want to lose her as a friend. I didn't either, but I waited too long and now I am getting voted off with nothing but regret. Even if she hates you for it, you have to show her the tough love I never could. Okay, I will DJ. Cody finally gave in. Cut to the sardine ceremony. Gwen. Duncan. Chris throws Duncan the final can of sardines. Sorry DJ. It's your time, I know. DJ sighed and received his life jacket. Goodbye, DJ. Gwen sadly waved goodbye. Later bro Duncan added. The Jamaican giant only frowned before walking onto and jumping off of the plank of shame, not the type of elimination I'm proud of. Chris confesses. Gwen and Duncan proceeded to walk away but halt as Alejandro softly claps his hands. Well done, you two, he praised. Normally I only toot my own horn when it comes to evil deeds, but booting DJ after he did the work. Kudos, shut up, Al, Gwen angrily sneered. Our hands were tied, nothing more. Duncan scoffed and the two walked away. Meanwhile, Cody talks to Tyler once again. So where are all of you guys rooming? The geek asked. Me and Lindsay are sharing Katie's old room. Alejandro took Zeke's, and Duncan and Gwen took Trent's. Zeke's room had way too many boogers on his wall, Alejandro complained. Duncan smirked, making out with Gwen in Trent's old room. I'm not one to add insult to injury. Oh wait. Yes, I am. Chris turns to the camera, and so concludes the three teams. Now that they merged, how things play out from here on in, find out here on Total Drama Luxury Tour.